to the Winervana podcast. Wine reviews for the average wine drinker. No pretense, no snobbery, no numerical ratings. And here's our host, Stephen Hawk.
The guest that we have today is Stephen Hawk. I've known Stephen for many years. So joining us today, Stephen Hawk, we're talking about different topics that we could discuss, and noticed the stemware behind you. So I don't know if you'd like to introduce yourself, maybe talk about you, how you got into wine.
Well, Rob, thanks for having me on. You know, I am a longtime wine enthusiast. You know, I started drinking wine in my mid-20s, and have pursued it as basically as a hobby ever since then. And that has now grown into the blog. So basically a longtime wine fan who's become I like to think something of an authority. Yeah, and Winervana.com is, the focus is on the casual wine drinker. I review wines. There are hundreds of posts now, all kinds of wines, some spirits as well. I talk about wines. I talk about the producers. I don't get into, there's no numerical ratings. There's no star ratings.
No judgments, no scoring.
No judgments, no scoring. And you know, one of the things that strikes me, the Wine Enthusiast, very big, very popular wine magazine, also the Wine Spectator, they both have a 100-point scale. Well, if you actually pick up one of those magazines, you will not find a wine that has an 85
no.
Or below.
Yeah.
So with that, what's the point of a 100-point scale? And if you read some of these reviews, you know, a 95-point Cabernet and a 96-point Cabernet, I don't know. Yeah. It's always struck me that it seems like that kind of palate refinement is nearly impossible, right? And I don't think those numbers are helpful for people either. And it makes them feel guilty, right? It's great for producers because, you know, if they can hit, and they're always looking for a 90-point score. You know, a 90-point score is worth real money to producers because they can charge more for a 90-point wine. They can probably sell for 10 or 15% more than an 89-point wine, right? Yeah. So it's great for them, but is that great for the consumer? I don't think so, quite frankly. And then there's also personal taste. That's a whole other topic that we're going to get into, hopefully. Yeah. So hence the casual wine drinker. So behind me, bunch of wine glasses.
Yes.
Back in probably, I think it was about 25 years ago, may have been 30 by now. There's an Austrian company called Riedel, R-E-I-D-E-L. They've been making glassware for a long time, and they determined that the shape of a wine glass could influence the taste and enjoyment of the wine. And so they have come up with many shapes of wine glasses. Some say they've gone too far, and that you don't need a bunch of wine glasses. I personally think a few well-chosen glasses makes a lot of sense. I think it does make the wine taste better, and I think it enhances the enjoyment of the wine as well. So let me show you some of what's going on. This is really the workhorse glass right here. This is a glass that you would use for Cabernet Sauvignon, for Merlot, for a number of Burgundies.
It'd be Bordeaux. Like is that a Bordeaux glass also, or is that?
It's also Yep. Actually, it would be a Bordeaux glass rather than Burgundy glass. It is a Bordeaux glass.
Yep.
So
and that is usually what you would say would be what you'd see on a dinner table as the biggest bowl of a glass, as most volume, most air inside of it. Correct.
Correct. And in most restaurants, if they have nice stemware, not all of them do, of course. This is the kind of glass that you're going to be seeing. Okay. Most of the time, it's about 8 inches tall, maybe 2.5 inches around. So this is a glass, because most of what I drink is red wine. This is a glass I probably use 80% of the time. You could, if you could only afford one glass.
That was my question that I was going to go, is if you're going to start with stemware and you'd like to buy something nice, a set of 4, a set of 8, whatever that might be, that's your recommendation, is to start with a Bordeaux glass, a Cab glass.
Absolutely.
Nice like that. Okay.
Because it'll also work with white. in a pinch. It'll work with champagne, frankly.
Yeah.
So yeah. Another red. This one it's a little bit shorter. It's rather narrower. This is a glass for Zinfandel, primarily.
So you're saying red Zin, just to be clear, correct?
I would say red Zin because white Zin is an abomination. That's something else
we've got fans. I'm sure we're going to have fans of white Zin.
Oh, I know. We're going to get grief for that.
Yeah, exactly. So, the comments will be flowing.
They will. So this is a Syrah or Shiraz glass. It's much like the Cabernet, but it's a little taller. Now, this is the kind of subtlety where people who poo-poo glassware would say, no, you don't need a Syrah glass or a Shiraz glass. They're too similar. And then we have a Chardonnay glass, which is a similar shape, but it's like a miniature version.
So why would you say similar shape glasses? Could you talk about the intention behind the purpose behind having a smaller glass with the same shape versus a larger glass? Is it just letting the wine breathe? Reds tend to be older, whites tend to be newer, just in terms of years that they were produced. Is that part of it? What goes into that? That's part of it, but Riedel's position is that the idea, like for instance, between two different sizes like this, that in the act of drinking, that the shape and the size of the glass affects how the wine is conveyed onto your palate. So that the idea is that a Chardonnay will land the wine on your tongue in a different place than that glass. Okay, all right. Opening up the aroma, the flavors, the whole bit. That's the idea behind it. Here we have a little Sauvignon Blanc glass. Okay. It's much smaller. It's the glass I use the least. I like Sauvignon Blancs, but I like them, but I don't drink them a lot. Tend to stick with reds.
I tend to stick with reds. And then this is a controversial thing. This is a champagne flute. All right? This kind of stuff you'll see at any wedding celebration, right? There was a time where champagne glasses were the little bowl-shaped things. They fell out of favor, and correctly so, because the whole idea of champagne and champagne enjoyment is the bubble. That's a big part of that. Well, with a wide bowl, those bubbles are more rapidly diffused, and so you lose that sparkle, which is a big part of champagne enjoyment. Mm-hmm. So the idea of a flute is this concentrates the release of the bubbles, and so you get more of the effervescence to enjoy. Sure. Although there are some people who say no. Yeah. But my position is, if you can afford a flute or two, yeah.
So I would say just for myself, I would say the first glasses and nice stemware that I invested in, Bordeaux glasses, cab glasses, the biggest ones, the first ones that you showed, and then also my champagne flutes. So I did champagne flutes and I did the Bordeaux.
And then the last one here, this is a Pinot Noir glass. And you can see the bowl here. The bowl is much more bowly. Yeah. So this is the last one that I have. And these, like I say, I use all of these all the time. Mostly the cab. They all see work. And I got these as a birthday present 20 years ago, and they've been extremely enjoyable.
So how many broken glasses have you had over the years? How many have you had to replace actually?
Oh man, I would say at least half a dozen. I just broke one of the cab glasses a month ago, which is a pain. And here's another thing about Riedel. The glasses that I've got, these are all crystal. These are all Austrian crystal, but these are machine made, which makes them affordable. Riedel does have, so this is the Venom line. They have a line called Sommelier line. Yep. It's hand blown crystal, and I actually have a couple of hand-blown martini glasses. They're exquisite, but they are expensive and they are fragile.
Fragile, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
So even as much as I love those glasses, I can't really recommend them because to break one is it's heartbreaking. I mean, these things can run over $100 a piece. Well, you don't want to be breaking glasses like that. No. And the shapes, actually, in terms of the bowl shapes and everything, they're identical. It's just the way the glasses are made. So like I say, they're super elegant, super expensive, out of reach for really all but a few.
Yeah, and that Riedel line, the Riedel line is great. That's what I have. I have Riedel glasses or Riedel stemware. And then what I would say is any tips for, people that happen to go out to Napa Valley. You will often find that when you pay for a tasting, you can take that glass, and oftentimes they're Riedel glasses. I mean, it could be a Riedel glass. And some of the wineries will have really nice stemware, and I have a lot of different glasses from different vineyards. And granted, if you want consistency across your table, or if you have people over, you can buy these. Yeah. I'll tell you, when you have a lot of people, it's nice to have those other glasses. Now, you got to pack them well and make sure that you're bringing them back safely. That's I've never had one break in a bag, but just for those that will go to Napa or would like to go to Napa in the future, as we get through this COVID-19. Again, this is very much an interest of mine. Stephen actually is a very good chef in his own right. That's another thing that I know that he does blog about, different meals that he cooks and the wines that he does, that he pairs with those. So, Stephen, thank you again.
Thanks, Rob.
All right, bye-bye.
This has been Winervana. To learn more, visit us at www.winervana.com.
This is a production of Habanero